1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm pretty sure you're
I don't know if they'll say anything though.
go back there, grab something to drink, something to drink. I don't know if they changed it, but you can't do it now. Thing after Lisa set it up. Just to grab you something to drink, you know, you go there, talk to them, but now, Jesus.
They don't want the instant cooking for us, I guess. But I mean, we suffer. It's throughout the day, we can't leave. Like, we can't leave. We're going. Yeah.
With us, we can go tomorrow, go make it 12 days straight.
Yep. Well, I brought some snacks and I brought a microwave meal, so I'll be okay.
Tomorrow,
14-hour days.
It's all
I'm not built for it. I'm getting too old.
soldiers that retired. You still here? I've been retired 21 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we don't do that shit.
That's insane. Okay.
I'm right. Keep on.
Here's my sweet-in-law right here. And that's my boyfriend right there.
You good?
Yep.
Stop. Stop. Oh, that's all. Your security be gone. They be like, what the why you do it? No.
Run to my car.
All right. We're good. I probably might head over there in a little bit because Joanne Hamlin said she'll be here between 9:30 and 10, so I'll just go drive over there and just look for her.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought, is all her stuff done or she needs something done?
No, she's got to like roast her sweet potatoes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got to weigh out her meals. She's got 3 students with her.
Oh, that's right. You said she's bringing her own students.
Yep.
Because I got my guys sitting there doing nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, then they can at least show them where some stuff is.
Okay.
I forgot they were over there, so that'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I'll still go over there and just let her know.
Okay.
Yeah. The one guy's kind of lost in the sauce. Yeah.
I don't think he's lost. He understands everything we say. He just takes a minute to register. And then when he registers, he moves so slow that you're so frustrated with him. Like,
Right?
yeah.
Got an angry look on his face.
Yeah.
Like, don't look at somebody else like that. Don't be looking at me like that.
Yeah. And then, like, he was sitting there asleep, but his eyes was open.
Ooh, that's freaky.
I was like, boo, boo, boo.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing that. I've never seen it before, though.
Well, I've seen these guys stand up and sleep.
What did it say? Go to them. Because I think it's I say this is bad. What else y'all got to do? Oh,
Good morning. How is everybody today? Yeah? Are you hungry for pastries?
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna feed you right away. If I feed you now, then you're gonna run away with the food, right? The food comes at the end of the demo. Okay? It's not my first rodeo. Okay? So I'm Jackie Pfeiffer. I'm the owner of the French Pastry School in Chicago. And what is particular about our school, we are specialized in pastry and baking only. We don't do savory food. Okay? We have 14 different teachers that are all specialized in different aspects of food, and and therefore we have many different programs. We have a 20-week pastry program, Monday to Friday, 6 hours a day, non-stop. Then we have a 10-week bread program. Also Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, because the bakers tell me the bread needs to rise, needs time to rise. And then I have a 10-week cake decorating program. Also Monday to Friday, 6 hours a day. And I want to introduce you to John, Chef John, who is a retired from the Rangers, and he took all 3 programs at our school. So if you have any questions about the program, and what it feels like to be a veteran and come to our school, this is the guy to talk to, right? And then we also have short classes, 3 to 5 day classes for the food enthusiasts, people who love to bake as a hobby, or for the professionals. Okay? So we have something for everybody. We have about 1,000 students a year at our school, okay, with all the classes and program combined. The good news is that I've been now doing demonstration and classes with the military for more than a year, and I'm getting the hang of it. I realize now how much equipment there is in a culinary facility, right? You have muffin pans, you have hotel pans, you have sheet pans, parchment paper, and then a lot of good attitude, right? So what I did, I created a 5 day program where our chefs will come to any culinary facility around the world and teach the culinarians with what they have, and the flyer is right there over there. And we do 5 days hands-on baking and pastries. So we have a lot of bread, breakfast pastries, quick bread, cookies, even some chocolate mousse and creme brulee. Okay, so this is what I'm promoting today, and some of the items that stick around. You will. Can you see them in the mirror? No? Yeah? Can you see them? These are some of the items that we will teach, okay? But there's many more. And one of these items is also a cherry pie that I'm going to demonstrate today, okay? Also, another thing that I want to show you is something very cool that I did just for this demo. We make chocolate candies with the military seals on it, yeah? I know it would get your blood going. You're like, yeah. And the way those are made, they're made with something called a transfer sheet. This is a sheet of plastic that is printed with cocoa butter. Watch this. This is cocoa butter. John, if you can pass this around so they can see, you can if you want. And we put melted chocolate on those transfer sheets. And over here, that's a cherry pie that I'm making today. My cherry pie is gonna be a smaller version because I'm gonna make a 9-inch pie. But this recipe that you have here is already calibrated for a half a sheet pan. That's one of the recipes that we will teach in our 5-day program. Okay? So we are going to seriously. We're gonna start with the sweet dough. You have a recipe? Sweet dough, yeah? So, how many of you bake a lot? And then, and the people who didn't raise your hand, are you cooking? Are you guys cooking over here? Yeah? Yeah? You did cooking? You want to cook? You should learn how to cook. It's a great skill to have, right? You'll never go hungry, right? But for the people who are cooking, to realize that pastry is not like cooking. You cannot treat a recipe, any pastry recipe, like your regular stew, a beef stew, let's say, where you have the beef and then you need some vegetables and then you forgot to go to the store and you look in the fridge what you have and oh, I don't have all the carrots I need. I can just put something else. It doesn't really matter. The stew will work out. Pastry is not like this. You cannot wing it, as people say. Chef John always says, "Oh, let's just wing it." I'm like, "No, did you just say that?" So, no winging in pastry. Okay, we we need to measure everything before we make a recipe. And what we like to do, we need to get it ready in separate bowls. You don't want to weigh things and start mixing them up. That's when mistakes gonna happen. And if one of these ingredients is missing, the entire recipe will fail. Whether it's for me, for you, for Chef John, for anybody. Yeah, that's how pastry works. You just need to be disciplined and precise, and then the recipes will come out. Yeah. So these are my ingredients for the sweet sauce. What I like to do, I like to let all my ingredients come to room temperature because they will mix much better when they are all at the same temperature. So I have the butter, I have the salt, I have the confectionery sugar, vanilla, flour, and eggs. Before I start a recipe, I make sure I have my ingredients right here. You don't want to have all this here and then the butter is somewhere back there, and then you know you're going to forget to put it in there. Oh. So be disciplined, have the ingredients in front of you before you bake. Then another thing that I do is I put the ingredients in the order in which they go in the recipe. So that's why they group together like this. So butter and salt go first. Confectionery sugar that was sifted goes second with the vanilla. And then the flour and then the eggs go last. If you do that already, it's more difficult to screw up the recipe, right? But still a chance. So questions? No questions so far? Okay. So we're going to put the butter and the salt first. What you need to know is that salt conserves food. And if you mix the butter with the salt first, it will actually keep your sweet dough fresher. Because the thing that gets rancid in a recipe, this kind of recipe, is the butter. So if the butter is first mixed with the salt, that salt is going to teach the butter a lesson. It's going to tell the butter, you're not going to spoil. Because salt is an acid, and it prevents the bacteria to grow, but it will also absorb the water in the butter, and the water is actually what helps a product like this to get rancid. Okay? So the way I explain the recipes are exactly the way we explain them at the French pastry school. It's not just throwing things together, making dough and be happy. The key in pastry is to understand what is going on in the ingredients, inside ingredients, a little bit of food science, listen to her, and also when you mix them together, every time there is a chemical reaction. So you need to learn that. Once you learn that, you'll never be in front of a recipe and scratch your head and put your hands up and like, it's not working for me. That doesn't exist. If you will learn a little bit about how pastry is made and how recipes should be made, there's no recipe that should be a challenge for you. Yeah? So we're going to mix this for about a minute on medium. Remember, my butter was soft, very important. And then after that, we're going to add the sugar and the vanilla extract. So one thing you need to know about those, those are used to make pie shells and things like this, cookies also. But you don't want to mix this like crazy, like this, and then for 10 minutes because you just feel like it. Okay? That doesn't work. Um, you need to realize if you put a lot of air in there, there's going to be a lot of air in the dough. You're going to say, so what? Well, whenever the dough bakes, those air bubbles will expand and make the dough fluff up and get very light and porous. You're gonna say, okay, so what? Well, in our example, we're gonna make a cherry pie. Once I make my cherry filling, the cherry filling is full of moisture. My sweet dough is very, very light and airy. The liquid from the cherries will go right through the dough and make a big pile of mush. And when I like to eat a pie, when I eat a pie, I like to have a pie that has a crust on the bottom, not a pile of mush. I'm just speaking. Sorry. So, not a lot of air. Just mix it just for a minute or so. Okay? And on slow speed. Now we're gonna put the sugar and then the vanilla. Same thing. We don't need a lot of mixing, a lot of crazy mixing. And some mixers like this one, I don't know if the paddle is reaching all the way down to the bottom, so I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to teach you the lesson. I'm going to see what's going on the bottom there. Sure enough, there's a lot of butter down there that is not cooperating. Then I can add my eggs. And I like to add half of my flour first, so the dough doesn't get too dry right away. All right. And if you bake at home, only one person operates a machine like this. Not, oh, I pour the eggs and you turn the gears on and off. Because you don't know what the other person is thinking. You might have your hand in there and then the other person goes on high. So only one person operates the mixer. Unless you don't like that person then. Add the rest of the flour. Thank you, I'll keep this one. Same thing, we just mix it until it comes together, not more. You can make this by hand if you want to, yeah? It's not a problem. So like I said, because it's not reaching all the way down, I'm just gonna finish it by hand. But no matter what, you don't want to overmix it, especially once you add the flour. You don't want to overmix this kind of dough. What happens if you overmix it? 5 points. You get 5 points if you give me the right answer. Huh? Yeah, but why? Why tough? Anything? Yes, the gluten is activated. Sorry, somebody back there. Uh, the gluten is something that comes in the flour naturally. Imagine in your head, gluten is kind of like rubber band, but in powder form. And once you add water, and if you heat by the friction of the mixer, this powder rubber band becomes a rubber band. Yeah. And if you overmix the dough, that dough will get rubbery. And whenever you line this tart shell and pre-bake it in the dough in the oven, it will all shrink. And then the hands go up again. So, no over mixing the dough, please. Where you mix the dough a lot is when you make bread. And this is where, when you make bread, you want the gluten to be activated. This is what's gonna keep the loaf together. So I'm gonna pass this around right here. And then I'm gonna make you touch it. So Chef John is gonna pass it around, and you're going to see that this dough is very soft. Yeah. And my next move is going to be to roll the dough and to line this pie shell. But I cannot do it like this, right? It's too tough. So we need to let the dough rest overnight. Yeah. Why does the dough need to rest? Is it like tired, had a long day, or for 5 points? All or nothing? No? Why does the dough need to rest? Watch out, it's minus 5 points if you don't give me the right answer. Minus 5 points and off the island. No, it's okay. Yeah, nobody else tried. Huh? It does relax the gluten, but that's not what I want. So it's minus 5 points. So what you have in this dough is the water that comes from the butter. Yeah, there's about 16% water in the butter, and then there's some water in the eggs. Okay, 50% of water in the eggs, by the way, and then all this water is just right now in the dough and make it sticky. Let the dough, you have to let the dough rest overnight. What will happen, the starch in the flour absorbing and retaining this water and will never let it out. It's the starch that will then, once it absorbs the water, then will allow us to mold this dough. Okay, so always let those dough rest overnight in the refrigerator. Okay, yeah. So while I have the mixer here, I'm going to make my crumble. The crumble is going to go on top of the dessert. What's the first thing we do when we want to make a recipe? We find our ingredients and we we weigh them. Whether you use a scale or cups, whatever you want to use. get them ready first. Yeah? And you want them all at room temperature. All of them. So, butter, sugar, flour, salt, cinnamon. Wow. Again, it works. Right? Is that funny? Funny, good. We remove the lid, and then we'll put this in the order in which we go in the recipes. So butter with salt, and then after that the rest of the ingredients. That's a simple recipe, yeah? If you want to add, excuse me, some nut powder in this crumble to make it tastier, you can remove some weight from the flour, a couple ounces of flour, you remove it, and you replace it with walnut powder, almond powder, pecan powder, and if you cannot find the powder in the supermarket, you just take those nuts and put them in a food processor, and there is your powder. Yeah? We're putting the butter and the salt. Salt is what I like. It's less salty than the other salt, and so works better for pastry. Yeah. Same thing. We don't need a lot of air. Just a minute or so. Can you get me a glove and one medium glove? And then we put the rest. This can be brown sugar, turbinado sugar, white sugar, a mix of them. Yeah. Or you can do this and put a little bit of molasses in there to give it a nice flavor. And then the spices is also what you would like to do. It depends. Cinnamon, but you might do a mix. Maybe this pie is for Halloween, Thanksgiving. You can put nutmeg, ginger, little clove, and cinnamon in there. Yeah, we make it kind of like a Thanksgiving crumble. That's another thing you need to learn in pastry is what you can do and what you cannot do. You can change certain powders for other powders. Yeah. So as I mentioned to you, you can put some nut powder instead of flour. Yeah, because it's powder and powder. So for a recipe like this, it does not matter so much. And then spices, change spices for other spices. You see? So that's what you need to understand. You can interchange sometimes certain things if they are kind of like the same. You cannot remove the cinnamon and put an egg in there. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah? And the $5 trick is to put a little bit of alcohol in here, like hard alcohol, like rum, um, a drop in there just really brings it together, yeah? But you don't have to, okay? So we're gonna finish this by hand again. You can unplug this and then put it away. So when you make a crumble, you need to mix it only until it crumbles, and then so that's what we're going to do. But I want to show you a trick. That's another $5 trick. I'm gonna collect the money later on. Run away, okay? So a crumble is usually like this, a little bit more, right? Almost there. So it should be like small pieces like this, yeah? You put on your pie, and sometimes you just don't pay attention and you overmix your crumble dough. And now it looks like the sweet dough, yeah? So when you overmix your dough like this, a trick is to press it. Let's say you have a dough like this, you press it on here. Okay? And then what this will do, it will reshape it into little pieces. So this you don't touch it right now. You put it in the fridge. It's gonna put it in the fridge. Maybe one of these in the freezer, but a fridge is fine too. And then later on you can separate it again and then bake it. Yeah. So thanks to the magic of television, I have my pre-baked crumble. Yeah. So you're gonna say, why do you pre-bake the crumble? What we need to realize is that in a cherry pie, the filling is full of water. You need to realize that cherries are made of 85% water, and then a little bit of fiber, right? So fruits, any fruits that you use for a pie, are loaded with water, and that water, once it bakes, that water turns into steam, yeah, and that steam will go not only up, but it also will go down. So it will make the pie shell completely mushy, yeah. So what I like to do is pre-bake my pie shell and even pre-bake my crumble, because you should try it. Make a cherry pie and put the crumble raw on there, and then put it in the oven. Even if you bake it for 45 minutes, your crumble will not be baked, because all that water that comes out from the cherries is just going through the crumble. Yeah. So that's what I like to do. Plus, it's convenient. You pre-bake it, and then you can freeze it. You can freeze this forever. Yeah. And have it ready for anything you want. Okay. So this we keep here. In the fridge, I have a sweet dough. So again, thanks to the magic of television, I have sweet dough pre-made from yesterday. Yeah. A rolling pin, a little bit of flour, and then we have a pie shell with a little butter. I like to put butter, but personally, I don't like the taste of ham spray. But that's me, I'm finicky. Yeah? I'm gonna say it's fine. I'm like, okay, let me get a piece of bread for you, and then I spray it and I make you eat it. You're like, oh no, no. Same thing. Yeah? So all the small details will make the pie taste a little bit better or not. Okay? At the end, people do whatever they want. They always do. I've been teaching for 24 years. They will do what they want. So this was made yesterday, and for you. So this is just to relax the dough a little bit. And this is a good thing to have at home. Maybe you buy only one, because it has a shiny side that you put on your countertop, and then the other side is a little rougher. And then once you put the flour here, the flour actually goes inside the rough edges. and then you roll the dough and this and that, you do your thing, and then whenever you finish, you just take this off. You didn't make a big mess on the counter, right? Everybody's like, yeah, that's what I did, big mess on the counter. So that's just to wake up the people in the back following you. And then the key about, sorry, the key about rolling dough is to not roll for a long time and not check if your dough is not sliding. Your dough has to always, always, always slide, all the time. And you bring out your dough at the last minute whenever your rolling equipment is ready. Don't bring the dough out and then you like look in your cupboard. Where's my rolling pin? I don't know. I left it here. How do you wear it? I don't know. The blame game and everything, and then all this time the dough is getting soft. Yeah? So bring the dough out last minute. Then what you need to do, you need to roll the dough. What's this? You roll, and you need to roll over the entire surface. Right here, right here, and right here. And then you check if it's stuck or not. And then you rotate. So that's what you're supposed to do. Roll, 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 turn. Yeah? But a lot of people do, Chef John, it goes like this. And then he turns it. Yeah? I'm kidding, he's not doing that. But that's a very common mistake. People think that rolling dough is a question of strength. It's not a question of strength at all. It's a question of being accurate. Yeah? So we roll over the entire surface. And a trick is if you have a cutting board, everybody has a cutting board, you put a cutting board in the freezer before you roll the dough, and you roll on the cutting board. So your dough is not going to get sticky because it gets warm. Yeah? That's another $5 trick. Where are we so far? $15? And you go back and forth like this. Tick, 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 yeah? The reason why you turn the dough is because you want a round piece of dough for my pie, right? And your shoulders are always above the action. You cannot roll like this. You're gonna break your back, okay? You gotta go like this. If you're too short, you just get something to step on, yeah? I'm almost there. And then if you're not too experienced at rolling, you can get some of those bars you put on the side to keep the dough at the same thickness. Yeah? Almost there. All right. And then when it's time to transfer the dough onto the pie thing, we don't do this. We don't pick up the dough by the hands and go like that. Et voila, as they say in France. So first, what you do, you bend the dough a little bit so the dough slides down. Yeah? A very common mistake is that people press the dough right away. And the dough is not even on the bottom of the pan. Yeah? The dough needs to arrive right here. Otherwise, if you just press it right away and you bake it, there's nothing that will prevent the dough from sliding down. Yeah? So slide it down, thank you. hour later. So you slide it down, and then I'm going to show you what we're looking for. Can you see it in the mirror? Yeah? That's creepy for me. So you press it down until you see this line. Do you see this line right here in the mirror? Everybody, yeah? See this line right here? That means the door is far enough down and it will not collapse. And then we're going to make some holes in there because during the pre-baking there's a lot of water in this dough. That water needs to escape somehow. So give it a chance to escape. We say we dock it. D-O-C-K. Voila. You know, if you say voila after everything, it works much better. Even Chef John says voila now. It took him a few years, you know. Then you cut the dough away. And then you're gonna pre-bake it, yeah? You don't have to. If you feel confident, you can put your cherries in there, your cherry filling in there, and then light a candle or something. But for us in professional baking, we don't play those games. Because we have customers waiting for the product, yeah? So we pre-bake them, and then that's my fourth $5 trick. I use cheesecloth, yeah? That cheesecloth, I put it in melted butter, yeah, so it's completely wet with fat, with butter, and you put it like this. The butter is the cheesecloth is greasy, it will not stick to the top. And then what we need to do next is to fill this with rice or beans, right? Not cooked rice, just rice that you buy just for that. At home I have a couple pounds of rice in the cupboard. I just use it only for that. Okay? We can pass this around, they can put it in. Question? How long does it take to pre-bake? It all depends on your oven. This oven is not too heavy, okay? It can be 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I think I have the temperature in there, right? It's what, 300? Huh? Okay. Make it at 300 from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how good your oven is. Yeah? And maybe if you use the cheesecloth trick, after 20 minutes, you remove the cheesecloth and then you put another 25 minutes. 20 plus 25 will make 45, yeah? So, another $5 trick, yeah? This is, thanks to the magic of television, my pre-baked pie tart that I took in the airplane, by the way. We made this in Chicago. All the pastries that we have here, we brought them with us in Chicago in luggage, believe it or not. So, when you put a filling, blueberry filling, apple filling, peach filling, cherry filling on a tart shell, what happens? The water goes right to it, right? So a trick is to take an egg that you just beat up a little bit, and you're going to spread this in there. An egg is made of protein, and what proteins do when they are baked, they congeal, and they make a layer where water will have a hard time to go through. So that's at least a $10 trick, you know. Getting off cheap on that one. Okay. So we're gonna put this in the oven for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, the eggs will be cooked. It's a very, very thin layer, very, very thin. Huh? We're not making an egg tart. Don't get excited. We are. Now I'm gonna cook my cherry filling. I'm gonna cook my cherry filling, but we're gonna start feeding you. I told you because I'm almost done, but I have another 15 minutes. So one piece each, please, because we have a lot of people. And if we run out, John, we'll get some more from the buffet. And then this one, I'm passing it. This one, I have 20 candies, and I don't know if she has more candies over there, but first come first serve. Yeah, one per person again. So now we're going to make the cherry filling. So I have my ingredients, I have my cherries. So again, those are pastries. Those are pastries that we teach during our 5-day course. I will come and teach at the culinary facility. Hello, lady. So we have cherries, cornstarch, sugar, lemon juice, and water. Yeah? We good? No? Okay. Ready? Now I'm making a cherry pie, but this recipe could be also for blueberry pie, peach pie, apple pie, yeah, plums. Any fruit that when you cook like this, it starts to get mushy. Pineapple, not a good idea because it doesn't get softer. You really have to cook it forever. Don't do strawberries, raspberries, don't do melon. Yeah, it's way too much water, not enough fiber, and those fruits just fall apart into a big pile of mush. Yeah, there's a reason why they make strawberry rhubarb pie. For only rhubarb pie, it's very acidic, right? And the strawberry will bring a nice flavor. But also, if you would do only strawberry, it would be pile of mush. So you mix both of them. Rhubarb has the fiber, strawberry has the flavor. Those two go together. You need to realize that the recipes that are out there for generations are out there because they work, not because chefs just feel like making them, right? I'm not the one who decided that apple pie, cherry pie, blueberry pie, all of these are good. It's people's taste that told us this is what works. So put the cherries in here. Those are frozen cherries. In the summer, if you have fresh cherries, it's fantastic. You guys have cherries here? No? And then we can put the sugar. Yeah? I'm from Alsace-Lorraine in France, where we have a lot of Kirschwasser, which is uh, hard liquor made with cherries. And then we would put it in here. We put it in everywhere. But in the cherry, it just really brings the cherry flavor out. So this is ready. Yeah, it's not like you don't see really a big difference, but trust me, the eggs are cooked. Questions? You haven't asked a single question since I started.
How much care do you
How much care do you put? Depends the mood you are in. Just like a small amount, yeah. Just don't start like, you know. So this needs to cook maybe a couple minutes, depending on how frozen the cherries are. And then after that, we are going to create a slurry with cornstarch, lemon juice, and the water. The cold in here. I'm next to the stove. So slurry is what's gonna thicken the, the fruit, and that's very important. If you don't have some kind of a starch in there, what will happen during the baking? The cherries are gonna release their water, and if they're not surrounded by starch, that water is just gonna make another big pile of mush. This is the word of the day. Yeah. So put a slurry, and then all that water will be contained. Yeah. That's very important. You can do even a mix of fruit. If you want a cherry plum or cherry peach, peach plum. Yeah. And when I do an apple pie, I also like to cook. I like to cook the apples with a little sugar and butter and vanilla before I bake it. You're gonna tell me, oh, you can put the apples just in there, chop them, mix them with sugar and flour, whatever, and put them in there. Yes, I can do that, but you need to realize that there's only one apple season. Yeah? One apple season, September, right? Around September-ish. And those apples, once they are harvested, they go in refrigerators that are at 33 Fahrenheit. 32 is freezing temperature, so they're just 1 degree above freezing. Yeah? Big refrigerator. Maybe the size of this entire place. And then slowly it's sent to the supermarket throughout the year. So if you get an apple in October, it will have a lot of water because it's just fresh from the tree. If you have it in June, it's still the same season, but that apple is like 10 months old. Okay? So it will have lost some of its water. So when I cook my apple, I can set the moisture in my filling the way I want to. And pastry chefs are all about control. We're control freaks. We measure everything, we count everything, we try everything, and that's where we don't get in trouble. Because we just you just have to be that kind of person. Yeah? You cannot just make a recipe and just say, oh, everything is gonna be fine. That's not what we do. We think nothing is gonna be fine. This morning we got up really early to come here. We could have gone up maybe an hour later, right? And still make it on time and all this, but go early and sure enough we had a flat tire. Yeah? So yeah, we had to fix a flat tire. I had to let John leave him with the car, and we just called somebody to pick us up, and it just threw us off our game for a little bit. But because we got up early, we, we have that early time to compensate for that. Yeah? And that's the first time it happens to me in 24 years of teaching, you know, but you're ready, right? If you say, oh, everything will be fine, okay, maybe you won't be here at the demo, right? So this is almost boiling, and then we'll put the starch. I want to show you another Another, this is the logo of our school, and they're also made with those French machines. You can pass it around. Any other questions? No? Questions about the French festival?
Chocolate.
Questions about pies? Questions about life? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cook this cherry mixture, bring it to a boil, add the slurry, pour it in here, put the crumble in it, and shove it in the oven. Yeah? So you guys gonna have to come a little bit later. It won't take long to cook because everything is already pre-baked. This just needs to cook a little bit, and then I'll put the pie over there. Yeah, and you can fight for it. You guys like those cakes? Yeah, and the candies? Yeah. One piece per person, or was there any? No. Something you need to know that fruit, all fruit contain a lot of acid. All fruit. And if you use an aluminum pot, it's very often that the fruit reacts with the metal, and that's a very bad thing because that's going to be a type of poisoning. Okay? Yeah? Let's say you make a lemon curd. That, that's the extreme example because lemon is the highest in lemon and limes are the highest in acid. And then you make a curd and you stir with the whisk like crazy, so you're scraping the bottom of the thing, and then it looks a little grayish. You're like, oh, it's probably nothing. Famous last words. Yeah. And then you eat it. It's like that's a funny taste. Yeah. You're eating metal. That's what you're eating. Okay. So for all fruit fillings, I recommend um, stainless steel. That's what it's called. Okay? So this is boiling, and this is Barbara Evans, Chef Barbara Evans. Barbara, you want to wave? You want to wave to the class? One of the 30 only master junior cake artists. Those are people specialized in cake decorating, wedding cake making. She did a demo yesterday, and she teaches at our school. Yeah, does incredible design with gum paste and royal icing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, ready? Slurry, and we bring it to a boil. You see how it's coming together? Yeah? There you go. You just need to make sure it's all mixed together. And then it goes in here. All right. But it's hot, huh? Done. Crumble. More crumble. Okay. Little sugar. If you want some walnut. Yeah? No? And in the oven. So the blueberry tart that you saw, some of you had a chance to have a blueberry tart. That's a miniature version of this. That's another thing. You need to realize that the any big tarts that you're making, 9 inch, could be made into a 34 size, small, or individual size, and the other way around. Any small tart that you see can be made in 9 inch. Okay? Question? No question, no question. It's a nice taste. It's a little crunch. Oh yeah. Yeah, and it will look good also. You know? It's a nice look. Okay? Any other questions? You have 1 more minute. Okay? Well, enjoy the day. There's going to be another 2 demos today. You have Andre Rush, who's a big guy, working at the White House, who's going to make an incredible dish with sausages. Very, very good. Okay? Enjoy the day, okay? Thank you.
Okay, we do mine tomorrow. And I was meant to email you about how you know back.
Get that done though before I get out of here. I don't know what I'm gonna get. Unless I got time. I'll try to do it.
I looked and they've got basically anything next week. Like it's wide open. Because I'm gonna take mine on Monday and walk down there for my pre-op appointment.
I go to Norfolk and
Take mine there because they have one at 10 or 11 on Monday at that time.
I don't want to drive.
Or I'd have to drive back here on Monday and take it at 1. Right?
Yeah. I'll have to get down there and check.
I'll email you one today.